Modders have greatly expanded the gameplay of Cyberpunk 2077 yet again. You can get awesome new robot companions, explore areas you never could before, even waste all your money away on dumb stock trades just like you can in real life. So let's dive right in. But do you know what's not going to waste any of your money? That's right, these amazing Cyber Monday deals from Alienware and Nvidia. Also, another big thanks to them for sponsoring this video. If you've been looking to upgrade your setup this year at the best prices, this is probably your best chance, and for the first 10 buyers, you can get an extra 10% discount using my code KHRAZE10 on top of the existing sales. With the X14 laptop series, you can get the perfect balance between mobility, design, and high performance. Thanks to the GeForce RTX 30 series GPUs inside, you can take advantage of Nvidia's latest deep learning super sampling and ray tracing tech. The DLSS uses powerful AI to boost the performance in games, so you can now enjoy high frame rates and resolutions without sacrificing image quality. Or make every scene stand out with the power of ray tracing to simulate realistic lights and reflections for the most immersive experience. So totally check out the Alienware deals using my links below, and for the first 10 users you can also get that extra 10% discount with my code KHRAZE10 before Cyber Monday is over or until the 10 redemptions are used. Anyway, for one of the toughest mercs in Night City, we always looked a bit on the skinny side, but with a mod called Gymfiend, you can get that ripped body that you deserve in the true sense of the word. The mod goes as far as adjusting most of the clothing options, scars, and tattoos to fit the more buff and muscular builds that you will now have with the brand new male body replacer. And honestly, I think it oftentimes looks better than some of the vanilla options we already had in the game by default. Like, just imagine if there was a way to alter male V's body depending on the food you ate or the levels of exercise, considering that there were games out there that did this over a decade ago. I think it would be a perfect fit to bring more immersion to Cyberpunk, and a system like that would also make some of the food buffs a lot more useful in that regard. And speaking of expanding the gameplay, I always found the concept of Megabuildings quite fascinating. It's just a shame that the game doesn't let us explore more of these areas inside of them. There is one mod though coming up at number 2 that tries to make that possible, and it's called Megabuildings Expanded. This opens up a lot of the previously blocked or inaccessible areas and even adds brand new ones, including a new apartment that you can go ahead and rent at the Mega Building number 8, right where Clouds is located. Now, some of these new areas were added by the mod author himself, while others were already made possible by CD Projekt Red, though never used until now. I can only wonder if the devs wanted to do more with these mega buildings, or if they couldn't due to time or performance constraints, because there's quite a lot in there that's inaccessible yet seems to be quite well developed. It definitely seems that the mod picks off where the devs left and adds a lot more new props and things to interact with, even other apartments you can enter and areas that were previously blocked off. The most exciting is probably the first floor that was previously inaccessible, and even jumping would immediately flatline you. With this mod you can now access the whole area. There's even a maintenance one below it, and honestly I didn't even know it was there until the mod let me explore it. Moving on to the third one, this one just became one of my favorite mods, and it's called Drone Companions. Not only does it add over a dozen or so new robotic companions, from flying drones, robots, and even mechs, but also adds a whole new cyber deck system with its own upgrades and unique effects. There's very few mod authors out there that go to these lengths to make their mods look authentic, and this has to be right up there at the top. Every Reaper Dock in Night City will now have a new type of tech deck of different rarities, as well as upgrade modules for it to let you summon more drones and also have them perform different actions or buff them. Weapon vendors, on the other hand, will sell you blueprints to craft these new types of drones, again with different types and qualities. Now, some of these icons were broken because of the new patch, but most of them still work even in 1.61, and I was blown away by how useful yet balanced they can be. If you're like me, you're probably going to immediately go for the max, since yeah, the game could definitely make more use of them. They are huge, they have massive firepower, and also the tankiness to back that off. The only problem is that they don't tend to move too much. Once they do though, it's definitely a sight to behold, because they will literally rip through almost any group of enemies, given the fact that you can also issue commands like overcharging them to make them shoot much faster, or repair them mid-combat, all the way to making them explode in case, yeah, they are surrounded by enemies, which can be an awesome AoE damage buff. On top of that, you also get the drones. I really like these because even though they aren't as tanky, they can readjust a lot in combat and oftentimes take enemies by surprise. By far the most useful these drones are when driving, as they will continue to hover around you wherever you go. And I even coupled this with the enhanced police mod to see if they react to the incoming officers, and yes, they did. They actually did a really great job at taking down any surrounding enemy or vehicle that was chasing me. So totally check it out if you want to experience the game in a whole new light. But speaking of new companions, CDPR's choice to not let us pet Nibbles whenever we want was a bit odd and pretty much a slap in the face, especially since we can actually do that for the new pet iguana that was added a few patches ago. But with the mod called Pet Your Cat, that is now entirely possible. You can bring it a step beyond and even combine this with the mod called Apartment Cat to get different feline companions all around the apartments you can rent around Night City, and then go ahead and just have fun with them, pet them like you normally do with any of your pets. To my surprise, it works very well and it lets you just play around with the pet animation. There's only one, unfortunately, but I guess it is enough for now. Maybe in the future CD Projekt Red could think of a few new interactions that we can have with Nibbles or some of the other pet companions. Unless, of course, the cat is asleep, then in that case you don't really want to disturb it. At number 5, another one that adds more gameplay functionalities to existing features is the career mod called Make a Living. With this, you can turn up to any drop point and now have the option to fulfill a delivery for someone random around Night City. The jobs are split into urgent and non-urgent, with the former paying a bit better, but the time will also be much shorter, so you definitely have to plan your route ahead. This will have you play as a delivery V and transport whatever goods someone else might want, maybe to a shopkeeper, an arms dealer, or just another random drop point around Night City where somebody else will go off and pick up the package. Pretty cool, and also another way to make money on the side, and it also turns those drop points into something a little bit more useful than just a place to dupe your items. But since we were talking about making some money on the side, at number 6, another mod that's been popping off lately is the stock market and new system. Someone actually thought, why not be able to transact various megacorps listed on the stock exchange? So that's why now we have 33 companies to pick between, from the more popular ones like Arasaka or Militech, all the way to the lesser known ones like Lazarus. They even have their own lore entries to teach you more about what they do and what they mean in the overall lore, which gets extra points from me on the emergence side. Pretty much every vehicle, cybertech, finance, military, and gun manufacturer is listed over there with its shares you can buy and sell, all the way to the public services like Trauma Team and NCPD. What's awesome is that these stocks will dynamically react to quests and certain actions that trigger based on what you do in game. Like for example, you can get clues of what's the next stock to pop off if you just check the news section, which is going to cycle between 66 total scenarios. These will usually hint towards how certain companies will perform next, like how, for example, the rise of crime in Night City can bump up the shares of the NCPD, or how too many deaths leading in the price per share to increase for the Trauma Team. My only criticism is that it doesn't let you transact options, like for example, it would have been awesome to short a stock that you know you can crash later. So here's a quick tip: don't load on Arasaka shares if you're about to do the heist mission, you'll thank me later. In any case, this is pretty much it with the mods. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video, so peace out.